I'm serious, nigga. What do y'all niggas got to say? Hey, baby. Hey, baby, get some bubble gum in this motherfucker.
Alcohol, a staple of human wealth that has been enjoyed for thousands of years. From beer to wine to liquor to moonshine, today, humans will drink anything in order to feel the effects of alcohol. Okay, you guys all understand what alcohol is, how it is consumed, and how it enters the human body's bloodstream. But how it affects the brain is another chapter. As many of you know, the human brain is like a series of layers. These layers are proportional to the human brain's evolution from beginning primitive generations to more complex and advanced brain functions. Upon consumption, alcohol acts as a central nervous system depressant, and each layer of the brain becomes affected the more one drinks until the entire brain is influenced. Here, we have a sober human brain. Now, let's make this interesting. First, alcohol affects the cerebral cortex. The cerebral cortex is the highest part of the brain. It processes information from your senses, does your thought processing and consciousness, and initiates most voluntary muscle movements. In the cortex, alcohol depresses the behavioral inhibitory centers, causing the person to become more talkative, more self-confident, and less socially inhibited. It slows down the processing of information from the senses, therefore I have trouble seeing, hearing, smelling, touching, and tasting. Also, the threshold for pain is raised. And it inhibits the thought process. Therefore, I become dumb. As I start to unpeel the layers of my brain, my limbic system starts to become affected. The limbic system consists of the hippocampus and septal area, which control emotions and memory. As alcohol affects the system, I become subject to exaggerated states of emotion and memory loss. Therefore, I might forget my address, become angry and aggressive, or just start crying uncontrollably for no reason. Now, I am drunk, and the area of my brain that coordinates muscle movement becomes flooded with whiskey. This is called the cerebellum. The cerebellum controls fine movements. For example, I can normally touch my finger to my nose in one smooth motion with my eyes closed. However, now the motion is extremely shaky or jerky. Also, my balance is now affected, and my buddy might refer to me as falling down drunk. Now, my alcohol consumption is starting to reach the more primitive parts of my brain, my hypothalamus. This is an area of my brain that controls and influences many automatic actions. It coordinates many functions through chemical and nerve impulse actions on the pituitary glands. Alcohol depresses the nerve centers in the hypothalamus that control sexual arousal and performance. As my BAC increases, so does my sexual behavior, but my sexual performance does not. Also, alcohol acts on the hypothalamus and pituitary to reduce the circulating levels of my antidiuretic hormone. When ADH levels drop, the kidneys do not reabsorb as much water. Consequently, my kidneys produce more urine. Now, I am to the point of dangerously drunk. The last layer of my brain, the medulla, is now starting to shut down. This controls all the bodily functions that you do not have to think about, like breathing, heart rate, temperature, and consciousness. As alcohol starts to influence upper centers in the medulla, such as the reticular formation, a person will start to feel sleepy and may eventually become unconscious as BAC increases. If my BAC gets high enough to influence my breathing, heart rate, and temperature centers, I will breathe slowly or stop breathing altogether, and both my blood pressure and body temperature will fall, causing potentially fatal conditions.